How you doing?
Good, good.
Just buying time while I turn this on.
We're talking about East Carolina now, right?
Yeah. But first I want to ask you, looking kind of back.
We've moved on. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, I know. But how much better does this defense work when you guys are playing with a lead? I mean, it just seems like you can really take over a game.
What defense isn't better with a lead? I mean, you know, you got them behind the sticks or they got to catch up. You know, we got some guys that can rush the passer. We got some good blitzers. You know, Donardo's a good blitzer. Chase is a good blitzer. And, you know, we got some fast guys up front. So any defense is good with a lead, you know, no doubt about it. But it was nice to, you know, get them in that position where we could, you know, pin our ears back a little bit.
So moving forward to, you know, it's another spread team, but it's a very different.
Yeah.
I mean, one was a run spread. This is a pass spread. How different are these two?
Well, they do want to establish a run, you know, although it's, you know, it's subtle, but they want to run the ball. You know, they've got to mix in that stuff. And they've got some of their passing game is like runs to them, you know, when they throw it out in the flat or throw it to the back, swing the ball out there. I mean, it's like a sweep to them, you know, just getting it in good athletes' hands in space. So they've got a bunch of good players and they're tough kids. I mean, East Carolina, I've got a ton of respect for those guys, the program, their head coach. You know, they just got tough kids, and they play everybody tough, and they always play Virginia Tech tough. You know, just look at the scores. You know, they're going to be, you know, it's going to be a real challenge. They've got, I mean, some of their wideouts and their running backs, and they're better up front this year than I think they were a year ago. I really do. They got 2 transfer kids that made them better. Their center's back, and they got a guard transfer and a tackle transfer that are really pretty athletic.
How'd you feel about your second group guys? I feel like Alford and Dooley kind of hit a groove on Saturday.
Yeah, they played better. They did. I still, you know, put a lot of pressure on them in the film, you know, in the video session on Sunday to, you know, just to play faster, you know, and continue to improve. You know, we've got to do that. And they responded very positively today from that film session, I thought, and so hopefully the more they play, the better they'll get, and we can keep improving as a football team and a defense.
I think last week. You expect you'll have Corey back?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I think last week we kept asking about how these young guys would react going on the road like that. Now that they've had a little success, do you wonder how they'll react if they've had a little bit of success?
That's right. That's right. I mean, you know, we've been harping here the last 2 days, you know, just on how hard they're going to play, how fast they're going to play. And, again, it's all about our preparation. You know, we had a great preparation last week. We had great mental focus leading up through the game. And then, you know, built up mentally until we played the game. And that was a hard-fought ball game, and this one will be the same way. I mean, it's just it's so much parity in college football. Man, anybody can beat you. And, you know, you just got to prepare mentally. And if we do that, I feel like, you know, we're very competitive.
So you guys were kind of, your defensive backs were kind of the linchpin of that game plan. Put them out on an island out there, and that set everything up. Talk about your overall thoughts about how they performed.
Well, you know, they got great athletes, but we felt going to a hostile environment like that, to beat a team like Ohio State, we had to do something to the extreme of, okay, we gotta be able to play well, and we're not gonna give you a lot of help. We gotta stop the run. They have a unique offense, great talent, and we kind of took it upon ourselves to try to go and execute a game plan. And obviously, it's not always as clean as you want it, but I thought our guys played exceptionally well and made plays that helped us win.
Have you ever seen 3 players from the same defense have 3 different National Defensive Player of the Week honors? There's 3 guys on y'all's defense this week that got
Who's
that.
the third guy?
Kaishan got one today from the Football Writers Association.
Wow, no. Wow, that was a defensive award.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of that. That's a tribute to how our guys played in that arena where everybody can watch, man. That's a heck of an honor. Yeah.
Chuck Clark, you know, he got beat deep there early in the game, but he seemed like he really responded. What do you think about his performance?
I thought it was big-time performance. You know, he got a pass interference. He got beat on 2 deep balls, and he didn't flinch. Right? Chuck, you know, you got to punch back. You know, trust in your technique, and he ended up having. I had him like 10 tackles. He didn't miss a tackle after that. I mean, had a big hit on the deal on the sideline. I thought he played exceptionally well. I was very proud of how he hung in there.
Kendall okay? Was that just cramps at the end of the game?
Yeah, just cramps, and I guess he picked the wrong time to come out during that situation. But Riley made a great play. It worked out well for us.
Appreciate it, Coach.
What did he catch was outstanding. Thereafter, not very happy with it.
Has Malik been the guy you thought he was going to be last year at this time?
He has, and I give a lot to Coach Gentry and his strength staff, and Bryan also, because when you have that situation happen, what do you do with that time? And I thought that time away from the game, actually playing, he rehabbed himself very well. Mike Goforth and his staff, but he really bought into Mike Gentry, and he's so much stronger now, lower body, upper body, that I really felt like he's so much further along because he's just a stronger player right now. He's been really good in the running game, which we haven't been as good as we needed to be, and he's really stepped that part of the game up. Obviously, we see him catching balls. The 3 third-down conversions that he had was 2 terrific catches and a great route to be able to get himself open. Those things are very noticeable by all of us, but probably part of the game that I think he's really strengthened himself is the run game part.
Are there little things he does as a veteran that maybe those younger guys still have to learn a little bit to get done? I mean, it's stuff that maybe we wouldn't notice that you guys obviously.
Absolutely. He understands, sometimes we talk about the tempo of the running game and how fast the play develops in the running game, but in the passing game it's the same way. I think he understands the tempo of certain routes, how he needs to set up each route, the speed that he needs to play, when he can have patience, when there needs to be urgency. And I think it's been a great benefit to have him in the room along with Bucky, because I think Bucky's really been able to benefit from him understanding how it's supposed to look, when you need to have some patience to set up routes. Because Bucky, when he first came out running routes, everything was just trying to outrun, play as fast as he could and outrun, and never really understood that there was a tempo to each route. There was a setup to certain routes that he needed to learn. And Ryan, that experience level, his understanding of coverages, how to set certain routes up, has been really beneficial to him and to us, and especially I think to Bucky, because he's able to see it. We can talk about it, we can practice it, but Ryan has really been a great a model of how it's supposed to be.
Have you had a guy that you've coached before do the core cadets here like Calvin's doing?
Never have. Never have. You know, that's a tribute to Calvin. If you know Calvin, you know how driven he is, how important doing things well, no matter what he's doing, classroom, the way he handles himself off the field, his approach to the game, for him to step into the RTC and really buy into that, because that's not an easy, as we all know, that's not an easy venture. That's an added time constraint, that's an added work time factor. He's really bought into it, but to know him and understand what he's all about, it's not surprising he's able to do that. I was very concerned. I was concerned early on when he elected to do that, but I shouldn't have been, because I should have echoed my own words and listened to my own words, because I knew that probably shouldn't have been a problem with him. But I've never had a guy that's done that. Still amazed how he does it. Even last year, and he is a young guy, I was excited about what he was able to accomplish, but he expected that. And things that I thought he would struggle with doing, he expected him to do better. And that's just his mindset. Doing things well, doing things to the best of his ability is very important to him in everything that he does.